Hello friends, Heidi here from Rain Country. God is good all the time, and I'm here for another Monday this and that video. And if you're new, this is just a weekly vlog that I do to get you caught up on various things going on, let you know of experiments happening, to lead you back to some old videos, maybe answer a few questions that have come in, and whatever I feel like talking about. So let's get started on the topics of today. And the first thing is cutting board care, or really care for any of your wooden kitchen items. Like right here, I have the long-handled tamper that Patrick makes. Plus, I have this shorter, fatter one that I use for mashing grapes and whatever else. And I also have here the mortar and pestle he made me several years ago. But also these two boards here. So this chicken here is my regular cutting board. And then this, even though it can be used as a cutting board, that's not why I had Patrick make it for me. This is what I use to roll out any of my breads, be it tortillas, biscuits, yeast breads, pie crusts, turnovers, and much more. So I wanted this board to cover this area so I wasn't having to keep rolling stuff out on this laminate, which was also wearing it out, which also had me suspicious how much was getting into the food. So I wanted something that not only looked nice and knew would last for a long time, but would also be a definite safe thing to roll my food out on. So really, it's important whenever you have any kind of wooden kitchen product. That includes your wooden knife handles as well, which I'm not as good at keeping up on. In fact, I'm looking at my steak knives over there. Here's one that I treated recently and one that needs to be treated. You can see the difference. Now this isn't that bad, not as bad as when I got these, because I got them secondhand at a garage sale, the full set, but I do need to take care of all of those. So this is just a reminder. I do have a few videos out on this, but I'll link to my most recent one down below, and how I treat it, what I use to treat these things. But basically as simple as just rubbing some coconut oil in there. Now some people will use a special expensive mineral oil. It's supposed to be food grade and all that. I don't recommend that. I recommend just going with coconut oil, and you can either be the extra virgin or it can be the refined coconut oil that doesn't have any coconut flavor or scent to it. And one of the great things about using coconut oil, it is naturally antibacterial and antifungal. I try to treat any items that I use on a regular basis, more than just once a year. Sometimes I'll do a heavy duty treatment, maybe once or twice a year, but I do keep up on it in between. So one of the things I wanted to bring up, especially about this board right here, if you saw this when Patrick first made it, I'll put a picture of it here, you'll notice that the color's a little brighter and a little more distinct. But over time of using it and keeping it well treated, you'll see that the colors have deepened, which is normal. That's what's going to happen anytime you put any kind of treatment, be it an oil or even a coating on your wood. It's going to deepen the color and also bring it out more. So one of the things I've started doing now is when I'm making another batch of skin cream, I actually lay it all out directly on this board so that if I spill any, which I always tend to drizzle at least a little bit onto my surface or drip a little bit or overflow my tins, I've already got it on my wood, so that when I'm all done with the skin cream and I get it all packaged up, I come back and I take my hands and I just rub whatever spilled on here directly into the wood. And then whenever I use it to roll out anything, like I just did tortillas on this, because that can take a little more scrubbing, cleaned off with a damp rag, and that's going to remove some of that top coating of the oil. Then I'll come back and treat it again. But over time, what's going to keep happening is the oils are going to keep sinking deeper and deeper into the wood, and that's what you want. And the more you do that, it's just like with cast iron, the less often you have to do it. But I still try to keep up on it. And what that's going to do is not only is it just going to keep your wood preserved and looking nice and easier to clean, it's also going to help prevent cracks in your wood and in your cutting boards. Or I call this my kitchen board because I don't use this as a cutting board. I use the chicken as a cutting board. And then another thing I wanted to bring up is last week I mentioned these spoon rests that I bought from this lady down in Oregon, and I bought it through Amazon. Well, I made a mistake in what I said. She sells all her smaller items on Amazon, but you can actually buy her bigger items that she sells, like the baskets and whatnot, on her website if you go contact her through her email. So I'm going to put the link to her her Amazon store down below, where she has all kinds of sets on there. But if you want her bigger items, or you prefer not to purchase from Amazon, you can go to her website, which I'll link to down below as well, and then you can go contact her through there, and then just look through some of the different things that she offers, that she makes. But mostly on Amazon, it's all these kind of things, and she makes them out of different types of leaves. This is thimbleberry. She also uses hydrangea and at least one other type of leaf. I don't remember what it is. Maple leaves. I think she does actually use maple leaves. So speaking of the tortillas I rolled out, I did that because I was making enchiladas. And as such, I was able to use my new cheese grater that I got, or grater. It doesn't have to be just for cheese. And a lot of people kept coming in and asking, well, what all does it do? Well, no, it's just a grater. Typically your vintage graters that are made this way, and I don't know the year of this, but I know it's at least vintage. Vintage is anything that's at least 20 years old or older. Typically those didn't come with more types of blades. So this just comes with the grater. And that's all I cared about. I didn't care about all the fancy stuff. I just wanted a rotary grater, because grating is the thing I hate doing the most. I don't mind slicing stuff, but I hate grating. And anyway, I finally got to use this, and so I grated out a bunch of cheese. Some of you might have seen that photo I put in the community section. Very happy with it. And what really surprised me is how easy the cleanup was. Now, one person that commented on that must have been a real hard pain to clean. Actually, it wasn't. In fact, like I said, it really surprised me. But what they might not have realized is that this whole thing comes apart. So yes, you will end up with cheese inside and outside that barrel and inside there. But really, I was able to get most of it out simply by rinsing it really well with hot water. What I didn't, just scrape out. Then I did go ahead and wash it in my sink with hot soapy water with the rest of my dishes. And then if there was any, though I really didn't see any, I did go ahead and go over it with like a vegetable brush on the outside, just in case there was any cheese I couldn't see that was embedded in there, and that worked really good. So very happy with this. Now this particular brand, people are asking me, it was Barona, and I think it was made here in the United States, but just go look on eBay. There's all kinds of different ones on there. So anyway, how it works is you have the grater in here, and the handle's attached to the grater, and then you use this to push down on the cheese so your hands never get close to the grater, and you just crank it, and I really, really like it. Oh, and by the way, yes, I do have a tortilla video out there, how to homemade tortillas. It's an older video, I think from 5-6 years ago, but I'll link to that down below. Just keep in mind the picture and sound isn't going to be as good as it is now. And I want to talk some more about powders, especially for baby food, and let you know some of the things I've been trying. So right here, I have my pumpkin powder. I've got 2 pie pumpkins and then another pumpkin zucchini back here that I'm going to bake and then dehydrate up. And so I'm making I have a video on dehydrating and making squash powders and why you might want to, and how all the many ways that you can use them. Well, one of the things I've been doing for the baby, for now, he's eating baby food now on a regular basis. He's just over 6 months old. So I've been trying various different powders and finding it's the easiest way to go. And one of the things I've been doing is making him pumpkin oatmeal with just a little bit of maple syrup. It's the only thing I've been adding any kind of sweetener to at all. And he loves that. And then you might remember last week I was talking about the orange powder that I made. It's actually very, very dry. It just wants to clump. So I've been using it, and what I've been doing with this is adding it to the carrots. I don't have the carrots up, but the carrot powder I made out of some home canned carrots that I canned up, strained them, and then mashed them up really good and dehydrated, and then powdered them. And he's really liking the carrots, and what he really likes is when I mix this orange powder in with the carrots. He is loving that. And then the other thing I did, he didn't like it at first, but now yesterday when I fed it to him, he loved it, was I had taken a jar of some beef that I had canned up several years ago, strained that, put it in the blender, and added just enough of the water I strained off of it back into it as it was blending so I could process it easy enough. dehydrated it, and then once it was all dry, put it back in the blender to fully powder up. And so that's what I have here is beef powder. And when I made the baby food out of this rather than just from the puree, I don't know if it's that his tastes are changing now, but he really liked this yesterday when I made it up for him. So I made up a tiny bit because the first time I tried to feed it to him, when I had first pureed it up straight from the jar, he didn't like it much. And I kept trying and he wouldn't eat it. And so I finally just powdered up the rest. Well, then I tried finally again yesterday and he loved it. So I was really happy to see him liking more things. And I don't know if it's just the difference of him getting older and his taste starting to develop, or if the powdered version with just simply adding water, he liked the flavor of that better. So anyway, just a couple more things I've been doing with the different powders I've been making and making baby food out of it. And I'm finding the powders is the way to go. So just if you've got grandbabies or babies of your own, just consider cooking up, mashing, and dehydrating your various different fruits, vegetables, and even meats, and just keep them real simple. Don't add anything to it when you're doing that. And then you can make just teeny tiny amounts at a time so that you don't have any leftover, anything that you have to worry about spoiling. So he loved the green beans when I did that, the carrots, the zucchini, the apples, various different things I've been doing with that. And then another thing I want to bring up again is the black seed oil. I've been using this more and more. And I'll link to the place that I buy this from down below, and I believe you get like a 10% discount when you go through that link. But they have all kinds of great products. They have bentonite clay and kaolin clay, which I'm really loving the kaolin clay, and I do use bentonite clay quite a bit, especially in my tooth powder. I'm loving the avocado butter I got from there, and many other things, beeswax, all the things you would need to make your own homemade skin cream as well. Even though the avocado butter is great just as is, you could even put a few drops of essential oil that you like, such as rose geranium, grapefruit, frankincense, ylang ylang. All these are great oils for your skin. But anyway, I've been using the oil more, mostly externally. And remember that when you use certain things externally, it still can get into your bloodstream. So if you have a hard time taking something like this orally because of the strong flavor, consider rubbing it on externally and then letting it get into your bloodstream that way. So I've been trying it in different ways. And what I found is that the black seed oil on its own, even though I have a great muscle rub recipe right here that I'll link to down below, I'm finding that even just using plain black seed oil on joints and muscles actually works really well too. It has a warming effect that gets deep into the tissues. And I actually alternate between the two. And then the same thing applies for a hair growth oil. You can actually rub that into your scalp because of the warming effect. That is going to help increase the blood flow to the scalp, which will also help with hair growth. So that's something you can combine with your hair growth oil. And I have a recipe for that as well, linked to down below, or even use it by itself. I have even been using this on my face, like at night. So I'll still put my regular skin cream on in the morning. Usually at night is when I do something different. I'm always trying different things, you know, castor oil and so on. And the avocado butter is one of those. So I've been mixing the black seed oil with the avocado butter and then putting that on my face and my neck and even behind my neck, because if I'm going to get sore, it's going to be back in here. So I'm doing a couple of things. Anyway, I've just been really happy with the black seed oil and just generally speaking. But yes, you can take that internally as well. And I have a video on black seed. It's actually been a very popular video ever since it came out that I'll link to down below, where I talk about the benefits. At that time, I had not yet bought any black seed oil. But since then I have, and have been using it on a very regular basis, and again, I'm very happy with it. One more thing I gotta say, because I'm still not getting those recipe photos in, I'm thinking I'm gonna wait for the food recipe collaboration with the subscribers. I'm gonna have that, extend that out probably to closer to the end of January. So I'm hoping that through the holidays that people can make some of my different things that I have recipes for out of my channel, whether it be some sort of chocolate or chocolate syrup or a dinner or a side dish, and take photos and send those to me, because I'm really wanting to get this collaboration together. I've got 3 out already. I have the fermentation one, the craft collaboration, and the garden collaboration, trying to pull this recipe one together. But then I also have another one I'll be doing shortly after, and that's the medicinal collaboration. So any homemade medicinals you have made based off my videos, whether it be the honey infused garlic, using either black seeds or hot peppers or whatever it is that sounds good to you, the elderberry spice syrup, any of the extracts that I've made, like the deep sleep and muscle relaxer, the pain one, even the teas that you've made to help with various things like anxiety and stress and so on, then please take photos of these things and send them to me at raincountryhomestead@gmail.com, making sure that you title the email according to which collaboration it is for. And if you're submitting for both, send them in separate emails so I can drop them into the correct folder. So the recipe collaboration or the medicinal collaboration is what I'm calling them right now. So it's just some different collaborations I'm doing with my subscribers so that they can share their own creations that have been based off my videos. So that's where it's the Rain Country subscriber collaboration, but it can still be made the way you want it made, just inspired by my videos. Even if you take the basic idea and go a totally different direction with it, that's cool. So please get those into me, and I'm really looking forward to putting these collaboration videos together. And if you're new and you haven't seen any of them, I'll link to the playlist down below on the 3 that are out already so you can see what we've done. And I'm definitely going to be doing the craft collaboration again, probably the fermenting collaboration again, and the garden collaboration again this next year. And if we can get these recipe ones off the ground, then I'll probably do those again in about a year from now. All right, well, that's it for my this and that for the week. Hope you enjoyed this video. Any thoughts or ideas you'd like to add, please put those in comments down below. And thanks for watching. Take care and God bless.